And welcome back. We haven't been around since the fucking Super Bowl, but Corey and I are back with Drinking with the Boys. I am Chase Almy.
I'm Corey Stevens, you know it.
And this is going to be a lot of fun today because in 2 days we have draft and we are live on Facebook Live as well. So you guys can watch us. It's a lot of fucking fun. We're learning how to do stuff and we're learning how to get more interaction with you guys.
Chase, I thought we were already the experts.
We are the experts. We are your draft experts.
We've been doing this for a year, Chase.
Dude,
What are you going to be talking about? Learning how to do stuff, huh?
Right, and
I bet you're learning how to watch football.
Corey's got me looking like a fucking alcoholic here with all the beer and the bourbon and DP.
What you drinking today? We got some Bullet. Bullet's always a good choice. What you got on the beer front?
We got some Tejas Prima from Big Ben Brewing.
Big Ben, the beer from out there. The local one, like it's the city. We got the Port Ale.
It's pretty good.
It's their best seller. It's a good one. Just
It's the only one in a can, right?
No, they got several cans. They got their 6th Floor Porter can, and they got I can't remember all the rest, but yeah, they got several canned.
Oh, nice.
But they use that mobile canning. It's real cool.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, and they're just right up the road from the Drinking with the Boys Walk-Off Sports headquarters in the west end of Dallas.
Downtown Dallas, bitch.
There you go. You know how we do it. We do the D-Town downtown. Before we get into the draft, we got a couple of other noteworthy things. Rob Gronkowski finally said he's going to play. I guess he's not going to go be an actor or whatever the fuck he was going to do. He was going to do something. He's sponsored by Monster. He has a pretty good Monster drink that I get from QT.
That guy. Look, he's a
character, man.
Yeah, he's a douchebag, kind of.
He is kind of douchey. Like, he definitely has some Dalshay type things going on.
He's like, man, Super Bowl's over. Okay, he knows he's really good. So he doesn't care.
Right.
He's just like, off-season is off-season, guys. He's like, I'm off. Leave me alone.
Right.
So
and Belichick makes it work. I mean, it never ends. I think that'll be one of the
reason it works is because he's incredible.
Well, I think one of the fun things that'll be interesting to see is, Tom Brady hasn't said yay or nay if he's coming back. He's maybe working on some type of contract deal. But I think it'll be very fun to watch what happens.
Where have you been?
With the whole Young and the Restless, soap opera that goes on.
Where have you been? Tom Brady's not coming back?
Tom Brady hasn't said yay or nay.
No, he said yay. He said yay as in like, hey, I'm going to come back. I'm going to play until I'm 45.
Right, but he hasn't confirmed. No, there's been rumors for the past week.
I don't know where you're getting fake news.
No, I'm not getting no fake news, man.
Fake News Sports Network.
No, that's Sony's job with the fake news.
Do not talk about that.
Oh man, another day, another story.
All right, so we're gonna get into the juiciest stuff first.
Right,
David Irving.
No. What about Gregory?
Oh, he's coming back.
He might be. They filed to be reinstated.
They are working for the reinstatement.
But who knows? Goodell may,
I think Goodell may just stick it to the Cowboys again.
Right, yeah.
Probably.
He might, because he's Hey, and me and Corey are going to be at the draft this week.
Yeah, we are. We're going to be there.
If we see Roger Goodell, we want all of you guys
throwing a beer in his face.
We want you to get a GoFundMe account. Go ahead and start it for when Chase and Corey meets Roger Goodell, right. Also a.k.a. bail money.
Hey, don't worry. We got a criminal lawyer.
We do. Corey's...
We got the lawyers.
Yeah, because
I think her retainer fee is pretty high.
Right, yeah. But, so we'll work on that. We'll get it out to you guys.
I can cover bail. Okay. I can get bail.
All right.
We talked a lot about bail because if you can't cover bail, then you're in there for a week.
Right.
So you better cover bail.
It just depends on where you're at and how much you're. Well, I mean, it's a 15-day. You get a 15-day PR bond if you're not careful.
It's a real long process over the Dallas County jail. So
not in Dallas County though.
Right?
No, is Arlington Tarrant?
I think Arlington's Tarrant County.
I can't remember.
I think you cross into Tarrant County. Either way,
I honestly don't think we get arrested. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now.
I mean, if you can get in a knockdown, drag-out brawl with Roger Goodell, then you could both get arrested. Take one for the team.
Right. No, that might...
I've already bailed you out before. So
yeah, we shouldn't even talk about bail. If we could go back and fucking delete this last
That was a
35
hell of a
seconds,
night.
that was a horrible.
No, so we're going to be there. The company where we work for is going to be serving food and beverages at the draft right outside. Come check us out. You've been listening to us for months.
Corey's
during
going to be
the
working.
season.
I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do out there.
You're gonna be mixing and mingling and talking about
Hopefully, we're near like a Miller Lite stand or something.
right,
Yeah.
right. But hey, you're gonna be able to check out things going on. But yeah, we'll be out there Thursday. Come on by. I'll serve you some coffee and talk draft with you real quick. So
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be a good time.
So Gregory may get reinstated. So earlier this weekend or this week,
that was yesterday, right?
right? Yeah, yeah. So yesterday, Monday,
Yeah, you're right. It was Sunday
right.
night,
There's the
probably,
making
when
of a
everything happened.
BET reality series
Right.
called Irving.
David
David Irving.
Lord.
I guess wants to be on an episode of Cops or Real
we
Live
live right
PD.
now.
We are very live.
Okay,
right
just
now.
wanted to make sure.
But no, David Irving. So people waking up around DFW is about 9 o'clock when I heard it break on the Dallas radio. David Irving had tweets out about you're gonna find out, and let me tell you, the English language was fucking murdered in these tweets.
You mean in the tweets? Let's go through. I
NES
wonder if they're
instead of
actually-
news.
I wonder if
They're all
actually there.
screen.
Are
No,
they still
they're
there?
no, they're all
No.
screenshots at this point.
Well, okay, but there's a lot of those. So,
So basically, what it sums up was David Irving was accused of domestic violence by a girl on
Yeah.
his Twitter. She got his Twitter password.
right, I'll find her name. Makes sense to other people, but no, because it was the announcement. Sorry, guys. From Angela Sanchez. You know that's a loser.
Why? Because Sanchez?
I don't know. 'Cause it's
Oh,
just
there
like
goes
it's
Corey
just
with
like
the
a
fucking
terrible name.
anti-Mexican name.
Jeff Kavanaugh with the understatement of the century. It would appear that David Irving's girlfriend or ex is not happy with him this morning.
Right.
Yeah. So what happened is his ex-girlfriend accused him of domestic violence at Iowa State, got him suspended, and then now she's gonna accuse him again.
Is
of
this the
domestic
same
violence.
girlfriend?
Yeah. He didn't learn back in college, but some of those tweets was like. So he actually went to Facebook to try to clear it again. Excuse the post. My ex hacked me because I kicked her out. I kicked her out for cheating again. Lol. That was David Irving.
Well, here's the thing, though,
Facebook post.
is he also said he caught her having a threesome with two guys.
Yeah.
He said that's not a menage in the hood. We call that a train. Now, the funny thing was he changed his Twitter password, but she didn't just have the Twitter password. She had the iCloud password.
Right.
And David Irving continued to keep all of his shit on the iCloud. So if she could get to his iCloud, she could get to his Twitter, Facebook, anything he has shared in that deal with your passwords. David Irving, if
Get your shit together.
find our show,
get your shit together. Good
please
Lord.
get on our
We'll have you on.
Facebook or
Yeah.
Twitter. DM us. Corey will let me know. I will personally call you and help you through this situation.
Chase has dealt with.
I
dealt with this
can
a
help
lot.
you out in a lot of this area that's similar.
Chase
Um,
knows what he's talking about, but he hasn't actually ever acted on it.
Those
Because,
who can't
to
do
be honest, you're in David Irving's
do
situation.
hey, we're not. This isn't fucking Dr. Oz.
To
Okay,
be honest, you're in his situation, but it just hasn't blown up on you. So
I haven't had to go to Twitter. But no,
No, you're lucky that she hasn't gone.
right, and no, there's no trains involved.
Don't
But
you
no,
wish.
so what was funny was she started tweeting on David Irving's Twitter account to the Dallas local sports radio people who were talking about it.
I mean, it doesn't matter who she tweets at because people are going to pick it up.
Oh yeah,
Everyone's,
no,
people are everyone locally is going to be following the athletes here. So if that starts blowing up, yeah, it's gonna be seen on Twitter. I don't know when exactly this started.
It started-
No. Well, I'm saying the thread of tweets, but it's like one of the first ones was that from her perspective that like cut his girlfriend's hair and kicked her to the streets. Like that she was telling on him with nowhere to go. And then she's answering somebody. Nope, his girlfriend is on it. Watch the news soon, guys.
But news wasn't even spelled right.
He can't even spell right. NES for news. All his dirty laundry. It says laundry. Even the drug test he's failing. No, hacks her. So like, then he finally gets it back. He says, my Instagram and Facebook are hacked. And answers. Another person says his girlfriend, my girlfriend's on it. Or no, she must have been saying my girlfriend, hey, this is his girlfriend on it right now. They talk about, she says, listen to David, lies all you want, you'll see. He's manipulative and a liar who moves the mother of their child to Texas with no family just to beat her up and put her in the streets. Wait till you find out about his failed drug test. Of course everyone would have found out about that already.
Well, he had the thing with the steroid company he sponsored.
The classic, his lies will never prevail. And it's like, the truth will come out eventually. But no, the final word on this basically is from, on April 22nd, the father of my child and the current boyfriend had a vocal argument that spilled out into our front yard. My neighbors were very concerned and called 911. Hey, does that sound similar? I was very upset. And I made some allegations that were false. Why is that okay? Why is that a thing? When you're very upset, you just start making false allegations.
Dude, that's just, it's programmed. Like, if you are a certain type of person, it's just programmed.
I'm sorry if we got to turn the mics down or whatever.
We're good.
Why is that a thing, like, in all of humanity? You get mad and you start lying. Like, what? Just leave... David Irving, leave her. Please get rid of that.
There's two.
Get rid of your bitch ass girlfriend, ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is you've got girls. This is gonna go so fucking bad.
Okay, you gather your thoughts there.
So there's
at the time, due to our vocal argument and my emotional state. Yeah, due to your emotional state, you lied. How about you just stop being a liar? I had no intention of getting David into trouble. Oh wait, You lied to the police and you hacked his Twitter and you said that he's abusing you. You think it's going to get him in trouble, it's going to get him in trouble. I had no intention of getting him in trouble, blah, 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 bullshit. I was just very emotional and upset. Yeah, you were. I would like to be clear, although our relationship is not perfect, we love one another, and David did not put his hands on me at any time. Don't go talking about domestic violence when you're going to back up and say he didn't put his hands on you.
See, and that's one of the things that's very common. And I think it wasn't a attitude, a lapse in judgment. I think it was forgetting the bank account. And I'll be real on. I think it's really like forgetting the numbers that you contribute to that bank account are not going to be anywhere near the numbers.
Sanchez is pulling her weight.
Yeah.
I think David.
So,
David Irvin is.
And here's the thing is, in most arguments, in most things that happen like that in life, people will say things that they may not really mean in the moment. And that's a normal, natural thing. Like earlier when Corey was being fucking stupid, and I said, Corey, you're being fucking stupid. I didn't mean it in a mean way. I just wanted him to like, hey, get your head out your ass.
When did you say that?
When you couldn't figure out how to turn 45 and 90-degree angles.
I don't even listen to half the things you say.
Corey doesn't listen to anything. So, but then there's the type of person like Sanchez who decides...
Angela Sanchez reminds me of a name like Sonia... like Alvarez, okay?
I don't think
maybe that's why I don't like Angela
you better be
Sanchez.
careful because I think your work got a subpoena from her. But
Sonia Alvarez can go suck it.
You have people that then start making up lies, and I don't know what it is because here's what I've always been told, and this is life advice for you guys: if you call the police are like frat boys. If you invite them to the party, they're taking someone home with them. Okay? That's just the fucking truth.
Okay, gotcha.
if you're going to go out there, especially if you live in cities like Frisco, Plano, cities that don't have real fucking
They don't
crime.
have real crime. They're just
You
gonna
know,
do something stupid.
they will pull you over and search your car and find anything they can to take you to jail. So the next 6 hours of their 10-hour shift, they can just do paperwork on that.
Right.
So
'Cause
about
otherwise they're just-
2:30 p.m. that same day, yesterday,
Yeah.
Frisco PD says they were investigating allegations of unlawful entrapment or imprisonment, impeding breath, and assault by contact, family violence. Which impeding breath in the state of Texas is a felony 3.
That's a really weird way to say kind of choking you, right?
Right. And it's kind of this new, like, it's the way that it's an assault charge, but the way that they do it is once you impede breath, it basically takes you from a misdemeanor to a felony. And so that's what it was. And so when you start throwing out impeding breath, anybody who follows and knows Texas law knows, oh shit, David Irving's probably going to be out for the year. Because that's a felony.
Well,
Roger Goodell, you can't even have fun.
But wait about a year for the bullshit investigation to go through, and then he might be out a year.
No,
I mean,
Roger
why
Goodell
you
will
think
shut
it's
it down. I honestly think Roger Goodell may throw a suspension.
Some of the things I laughed at the most. You remember when Roger ran a 40 in the office?
I do. But that has nothing to do with David Irving.
No, you remember? No, people are saying like that GIF to like Roger when he heard that David Irving had some domestic violence going on, and he's just like running down the hall. I'm there, guys.
Right? Yeah. No, he'll do something.
Oh, my God.
Fucking Peckerwood. Yeah. But you know, that was the big story. Now she's coming out saying nothing happened, drop the charges, blah 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 blah.
The damage is done.
The damage is already done. You look like a fucking idiot. You embarrassed David Irving. I mean, he's on a tight leash anyways because
of his college
history
and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's a good talent and everybody's like, why was he on a practice squad for the Chiefs?
He's a great talent, but the thing is, clearly, look, and I'm not trying to preach at you like I was better than you when I was your age. Look up how old David Irving was. But, like from 28-year-old Corey can say that 19 and 20-year-old Corey was an idiot. So, yeah, when you were at Iowa State, which was not much, you had your problems. But now you've been in the NFL for a little while, and I get it. I wasn't incredibly mature then either. Maybe at 22, 23, 24. But, like, you gotta grow up, dude. Like, you have to get rid of this in your life, David Irving. Like, you can't keep hanging on to this. You can't have drama in your life like that. You have to move on and get your shit together because it is costing you. The Dallas Cowboys would have extended David Irving already. They would have already given him a contract if he had never had any of this in his past.
Right.
He has, on the cheap, he has outperformed everything the Cowboys ever wanted. He has become a close to dominant defensive lineman and gave the Cowboys has a lot of sacks last year because of David Irving and DeMarcus Lawrence. There's a talent, and defensive line talent gets paid. So don't quit screwing it up, and you're going to get a 5-year, you're going to get a rich contract. So quit screwing your life around, and you'll finally get set for life. But if you keep doing this, you're never going to get the money, David.
Nah, David Irving, just once again, if you find us on Facebook Live or you find us on a podcast site or whatever.
He's really active on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to get to him.
We're going to get David Irving. We're going to get him on the show. We're going to get him some life advice.
Or you can just listen to this. There's his life advice.
And we want to get him on here and see if it changes anything. But you want to know what else happened this week?
What else happened this week?
You know what me and Jerry Jones have in common?
No, Chase, what is
fuck
that?
cares. Who the fuck cares?
What you fucking getting at?
What you fucking getting at? That's exactly it.
What?
Jerry Jones drops the F-bomb in a press conference with the
Dallas conference was this afternoon.
Right? With the Dallas Cowboys star and a Papa John's ad right behind him.
He says, the fuck are you getting to?
Right. Because there's a new show coming out this Friday.
All or Nothing.
All or Nothing. It's on Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Prime, guys, you can get a 30-day free trial. Get your 8 seasons in this weekend. Fucking canceling it. You're not getting charged $13.
I just saw numbers on Amazon Prime, though. I think it's like 60% of America has it. I think it's 55 to 65% of America.
Oh,
has
yeah.
It. So if you don't have it, then your friends have it. So just borrow their password or whatever.
Right.
Just have them come over and go watch the documentary All or Nothing about the Cowboys.
It's an 8-part series. They had it last year for the Michigan Wolverines. I didn't know that. I started watching it. It's actually really, really good. To me, it seems like a better Hard Knocks, because Hard Knocks is only for training camp.
Right.
And it's, filmed based on the week. It follows the next week. You get what happened the week before. So you don't get everything compiled like it does. And last season was a clusterfuck season for the Cowboys. So what better season to follow this show than that? From what I understand, there were cameramen, but there was also like hidden cameras where they were bolted in the walls.
You know what I love is that nobody was talking about it last year. Nobody found out about this until like a month ago.
Right.
Nobody has ever talked about it. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, yeah, they did an entire documentary over your entire
Well, there were
season.
some players who didn't realize that it was going on. There was one player who they didn't ever release the name, but there was a player who said he didn't know that there was a documentary. He thought it was about Jerry Jones and his legacy because he was put into the Hall of Fame. So there were guys that, and playing for a team like the Cowboys.
And I understand
there's
that
cameras everywhere.
Like after a while, you kind of forget that, oh, yeah.
When you've got the DallasCowboys.com people there all the time. Like cameras are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hey, they got
at
some
the
juicy
Star.
stuff. They got some juicy stuff.
Dude, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. They've been playing some different stuff on different media outlets around DFW. I'm sure you guys have heard it, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But in a press conference, because robot Jason Garrett, who never says a swear word except for hell of a job, we trust the system.
No, look, okay, I'm going to stop you there because that's wrong. Jerry is the most loose-lipped owner possible.
No, I'm talking about Jason Garrett.
He loves to hear the sound of his voice.
Right.
Jason Garrett, right. So that's the thing is that people got to understand that Garrett on the sidelines and Garrett at press conferences, which are the most boring things ever, that's an act. That's the Bill Belichick, like, fake, like, boring face, like, no excitement on the face.
Right.
He's not going to give anybody locker room material. But behind the scenes, yeah, he's an animated coach.
Yeah, he rips into a few of them.
I mean, he thinks he's worth.
When I first heard that he said "fuck," I didn't believe it.
Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he can get into people, but the thing is, it's not very effective. He's been there for a long time, and
I was really let down. One of the people that we work with
didn't have a good offense.
They got to meet Jerry Jones.
Who was that?
I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
But they got to meet Jerry Jones at the Star because the company that Corey and I work for.
Is their initials ST?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So they meet Jerry Jones, and
they didn't take advantage of it?
They got a picture with him.
Sounds good.
But I was really let down. Like, I really wanted him to smell like cigars and like
and bourbon.
But apparently he doesn't. Apparently he's super nice, really cool. Like,
I'm sure he's super nice.
I really just wanted him to be a dirty old man.
Well, I think he is a dirty old man, and he's cool in his old age.
You remember there for a while there was like that one sexual assault allegation.
Yeah, Jerry Jones has some skeletons in his closet that he's taking care of.
Have you seen him lately? He about looks like he came out of that closet.
He looks like a skeleton.
Yeah, he looks like it. But that wife of his.
Charlotte?
Yeah, Charlotte looking good.
Yeah, she's good. She's going to take over the team.
I hope so.
I mean, she'll be the owner when Jerry Jones croaks finally.
He has a heart attack from eating all that damn Papa John's pizza.
No. So the Cowboys press conference, that's what we got to talk about because they had a news conference today. speaking of Jerry Jones, he is the most excited fellow on earth because the draft is at Jerry World.
Right.
All he just wants to say from the rooftops is, come check it out, guys. Check out this shrine to me, myself, and I that we call Jerry World AT&T Stadium.
You know, I
over
think
in Arlington.
Jerry has a really good sell on it, but here's the thing. I think the best sell ever to come to a sporting event or ballpark or a football stadium was when Nolan Ryan sold the Texas Rangers on, you need to come to the ballpark because we got a 2-foot wiener. When they had the 2-foot hot dog that was in the little road case.
Don't they still have a
They have
on a hot dog? Like,
they
got
have
a
that.
3-foot one now.
They have the boomstick thing, but it's just like
Well, they got the dilly dog. Everyone wants to get the dilly dog.
perfect soundbite is Nolan Ryan saying 2-foot wiener.
Right.
Almost
So
as perfect as where the fuck are you getting at?
Jerry just wants to say, guys, look, we got the best stadium in the NFL. I'm the greatest owner in the NFL, the greatest name cachet, the most valuable franchise, and he says, check it out. We're gonna have an awesome draft. So, like we said, we're gonna be there, and it's gonna be a good time. It's a 3-day event. Remember that. So check it out Thursday night. Friday afternoon and evening, or is it middle of the day Friday? I assume it's
Friday and Saturday. They opened.
Saturday's probably going to go all day.
Right, Friday,
Like morning till afternoon.
No, Friday is all day. Saturdays until like 5.
Right, like
5:30.
10 to 5 or
Yeah,
something on Saturday. Man, it just reminds me. The new draft format works just fine for me because you think about last year, like, hey, like the effects and the broadcast from like. From NFL.com and from ESPN and from the local radio, everybody's covering it. Everything comes in, instant commentary, and it's glitz and glamour on the first round only. And we say, hey, this is the most important thing. And then they hop into the second and third round, and you have a chance to breathe and you reconsider. Hey, the player that we wanted wasn't there. Do we need to be more aggressive in the second or third round? I'm not gonna hate on the format. But I do have a soft spot in my heart for thinking back to Saturday afternoons when I didn't, know shit about football, but Dad's working on the car in the driveway or washing the car in the driveway.
Is this the same genuine Lloyd Stevens?
Genuine Lloyd Stevens.
Oh man!
Back when I think he was a little more calm back in those days, but no, and he would put on the ticket, and I kind of hate the ticket, but. The one thing that Hitchkiss and Bob Sturm and whatever they would talk draft really well, and I don't think the fan was anything back then.
Right.
We're talking like year 2000 or something when I was 10 years old, something around that. But just like it was a radio marathon for hours and hours, and yeah, when you got to about the 4th or 5th round, you were tired of that, and you were just like, I'll check this out later. None of these players matter, but. Every single pick, they'd have something, and it would just like you just dive into that for hours and hours. It's just like a classic. I even remember that old gray radio with the knob, and it would sit on like Mom would tell me to go do something, so I'd carry it around with me, and I'd sit on the washer and like listen to it like in the laundry room. Like it was good times, but it's a new day and it's way fancier these days.
Dude,
but
it's
Saturday's
a spectacle, man.
Yeah.
So Thursday night is the night.
Never
it
thought
is
I'd
the
be a part
night
of it.
that I heard it described this week, and I thought it was a very good thing. This, for people, is bigger than the Super Bowl.
For some people,
because
yeah, definitely.
the Super Bowl is 2 teams.
Right.
This is every single team.
This is every single team's Super Bowl. When you think about the Cleveland Browns, they don't win shit, and they got 2 picks in the top 5.
Right.
So this is the
Which
Cleveland
we'll talk
Browns
about
Super Bowl.
my theory on
Actually,
that.
every single draft for the last 25 years has been the Cleveland Browns Super Bowl because they don't have anything. So, yeah, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. Thank you for listening to us. How long have we gone? 30 minutes. That has been a good 30 minutes.
So we'll do what we'll do here is we will go over pretty much the entire scope of the NFL, where people lie in the first round for picks, what things are looking like here. your top picks right now, if that's another big news story that came out, was Sam Darnold, not really the top priority for the Cleveland Browns. They're thinking they're either going to go Baker Mayfield or Josh Allen.
Where'd you hear that from?
That has been the story for the past, since this morning.
Okay, the Josh Allen thing has been going on for a couple weeks
But the
now.
Baker Mayfield thing came out this
new.
morning that they are going to maybe chase.
Okay, but speaking of chase, listen up. They don't mean what they say these days.
Right.
Everything, especially, look, Dallas doesn't care. They're not gonna, if they don't want to listen, if they're comfortable with the players that are gonna fall to them on their board, they're not gonna listen to their calls from people to move up. So they don't they don't care. And then the other thing is, Jerry Jones has never been able to shut his mouth. He's never been able to give fake commentary. But the thing is, this is what people say. The season of smoke screens, the season of fake news. In the NFL, the weeks leading up to the draft, everybody is lying to you. You don't believe what you're hearing. So it is important, because Cleveland has some top picks, that what they say, they're going to say they like Josh Allen, they're going to say they like Baker Mayfield. The consensus is that Sam Darnold might be the best quarterback, so we should like him. They're going to say it about everybody. It's tough to believe what's coming out of Cleveland. Also, you can have the coach say that he loves somebody, and he's not the one picking. The general manager is.
And I think that'll be one thing that will be very interesting to watch on the Cowboys side, is a lot of people feel like the ownership and GM, so the Joneses, pretty fed up with how things are going as far as coaching staff and things like that. They cleaned house on a lower end.
Every single lower coach, yeah.
Right, because that's the fucking problem that we have, is the wide receivers coach.
Well, it's true that Scott Linehan has essentially consolidated his power. Nobody who he could possibly blame in the past is still there. So it's hey, I'm the boss. I know how to do things right. I'm going to get new coaches who will follow me. And he's taking everything on this year. If he underperforms again, you've replaced everybody underneath him. You have no one left to replace except for Scott Linehan. Also, this morning they were talking about this bullshit. Scott Linehan's son is in the draft. Matt Linehan. He's a nobody. I don't know if he's a quarterback or look it up real quick. I don't know.
Who?
Matt Linehan. You're going to look up baseball.
Oh, Matt Linehan. He's
shut up.
He's a quarterback.
Is he a quarterback?
Yes, he's a quarterback, and I believe it was Idaho.
Scott Linehan's son went to the University of Idaho. Is that true?
Yes.
We got to look at that.
He was a quarterback there. He's out of eligibility. So he'll be a free agent signing.
Man, there is absolutely nothing on that name on Twitter. So
no, nobody cares.
But it's hey, no, he's not going to be drafted. But the whole thing of the undrafted free agents, are we just going to get him on the team? Fish duly noted, Mike Fisher this morning, why? Why do you want everybody to just bully you because your coach's son? Why you don't deserve a spot on this team in training camp? Everybody knows that you're just signed because your coach's son. That's a terrible idea.
I think what will be interesting to see is if the Joneses take any of the ideas or any of the
football
picks.
Quarterback from Idaho. Good Lord, is this somebody?
That's who it is,
you
man.
Want on your team?
No, I don't even want him here to visit. But no, the I think it'll be interesting to see if there's not as much input from the coaches since it's kind of on the fence.
No, the coaches...
if they're not going to have this scheme next year, why the fuck are we going to draft what they think in their mind?
Look, right.
Which
I
hear
always...
Linehan has more pull than Garrett.
I think it's... I don't know about that. But... the coaches, I feel like the coaches' input is always under 50%, and I don't think that's changed. I think you think about even last year, 6th-round pick Xavier Woods, who's probably going to be a starting safety, because that's one of the things that we didn't mention, is that in the press conference, Stephen Jones, forgetting his first name, but Stephen Jones talked about, our safeties are fine. We've got Jeff Heath who can play both ways. We've got Kayvon Frazier. We'll pick up a safety, but it's not going to be a priority. See, the thing is about the priority of safety, we got Derwin James from Florida State, which a lot of Cowboys fans would love to have. So, I don't think – I think the coaches get a little bit of input, but I still stand by the fact that Will McClay and Stephen Jones run the draft. Think about the 6th round of last year. They picked Xavier Woods. The fan, the radio station, 105 Through the Fan, called in essentially they were talking in the 5th round because you got a lot of downtime in between picks. They were talking to the defensive backs coordinator in the 5th round and saying, hey, you got this guy that we love. We've been doing a lot. They understand that, those guys, Broadus and Jeff Cavanaugh have done a lot of scouting, legit scouting. And they say, why does he fall into the 6th round? Go get him. And they did. So, later on, anything goes. If somebody says they got a pet player, essentially, let's go get him. But the core of the draft is the first 3 rounds, and that's not run. Linehan doesn't have any pull in that. That's where I'm going with that.
I was wondering where we were going with it.
Last little tidbit from the news conference today is that Steven also feels that linebackers are pretty set. They did sign a backup linebacker in free agency to make up for the fact that they lost, help me out, but so we got Sean Lee. Damn it. But anyway, we do have, we're pretty set. We got Sean Lee and Jalen Smith, and we lost Anthony Hitchens, but we signed a replacement for him. And, the Cowboys only run 2 linebackers most of the time. So Steven made it sound like they don't really feel like linebacker is a great need. But part of that is that the fact that the linebacker talent is either elite or it's 2nd round. So, if Tremaine Edmonds from Virginia Tech or Roquan Smith from Georgia were on the board, anywhere after like pick 12, pick 11, oh yeah, I think the Cowboys might be in the mood to go trade up for that. But the thing is, that's probably not going to happen. Those guys are probably going to be gone before 12. And in moving up moving up that far, you're giving up a lot. You're giving up 3rd round picks to move that far. So it's an unlucky story. But Jerry did leave the option open. Hey, if it's a really special talent, in his words, we're open to a trade. They also reassured us that they're pretty good with Witten. Tight end is also not a priority. You think about their 30 visits, Chase. They had no tight ends. They had 2 running backs, which was not very much. They had no quarterbacks and no cornerbacks. So clearly, their focus is in the trenches because they have no left guard really.
What about Chaz Green?
Dude, is he on the roster? Because so. I don't think
so.
I hope not.
6 fucking sacks still.
I think he's just going to be a practice squad one. So the offensive line, defensive line, but like wide receiver, somewhat safety, and then they had 3 linebackers in. So that was essentially like the amount of people that they had in with the 30 visits, where you get like 30, interviews and workouts with players.
But the Cowboys, they were so sure they only did 25 of them, and they took a fucking spring break. Only NFL team in the fucking National Football League, they took a fucking spring break to the Bahamas.
The Joneses always take a spring break in the Bahamas. They don't care.
Not during visit time.
They do every year. They're like, hey, this is our family trip. They're not going to do it during the season. And, they're not going to do it after the draft. There's too much to work on, I guess. I don't know. So it's not going to be. Don't worry, guys. Top 3 picks. There's not going to be a running back, a QB, or a cornerback.
So I'm on fanspeak.com.
The whole thing that you want to talk about, like, hey, what if Lamar Jackson were to fall? What if Josh Rosen were to fall? What if one of the 5 top quarterbacks were to fall to 19? Would the Cowboys take him to have a quality backup, or to have a tradable piece? The answer is no, guys. They're not going to dick around with that.
So there's a website called fanspeak.com, and it's on the clock, and it's a mock draft.
We can do a mock draft right now.
Right. And so I did a big board and needs for the Cowboys, standard deal based off of fan picks.
I did a big board.
I bet you did. Big board. Big board. So
you're the
pick
big
number
board.
14 is Harold Landry, which is one that a lot of local people have been discussing as possible,
It would be somebody who might fall. Harold Landry, defensive end from Boston College.
They have him going to the Green Bay Packers in this.
If not for the talent above him, because defensive end is a premium position, if not for the quarterback talent above him, and also you need a solid offensive lineman, like, Quentin Nelson is a stud in the vein of Zach Martin. He's going to secure your offensive line for a long time, like Joe Thomas. Nick Chubb is your premier number 1 defensive end. Generally, there's not going to be 2 talents quite that good. Saquon Barkley, your premier running back. So right up in that 5 to 9 range is probably where Harold Landry would go. But if for some reason, the cards shuffled that way, if he started falling, he would be a talent definitely worth picking.
This one has him going 14th. They have Denzel Ward, quarterback, going to
cornerback.
Cornerback, going to the Cardinals. They've got Isaiah Wynn, who was another talk about, didn't come out for a visit.
Right.
Which historically, the Cowboys have only picked one player that hasn't come out for a visit, and that was Morris Claiborne.
You see how that worked out.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, they're
but
going to
Isaiah Wynn is somebody that they're very interested in because he's played tackle, but he's played guard.
Right.
And he would be a good guard in the NFL.
I mean, yeah, he's a good offensive lineman, and he might even have some flexibility, which the Cowboys value. You can see the Cowboys value position flexibility in the defensive backfield and amongst linebackers, amongst the defensive line. They use it, and they've got on their O line. They value that swing tackle. They got that one Fleming from the Patriots. And they're going to look at the guy they have who came out of LSU.
Right. 17th pick is Villa going to the Chargers. And then Jamarco Jones. Number 18 going to the Seattle Seahawks. So
who is Derwin? Who is what?
Says Jamarco Jones, man.
Wait, so you're just like joined up with random people?
No. This is they simulate the draft. Yes. So
that's not going to happen.
For pick number 19,
put it that way. That's not going to happen.
You've got Jerry Alexander, Jari. How do you say that?
Jerry? Jair. I don't know.
Jair, Alexander from Louisville.
He's
Maurice Hurst from Michigan.
I'm on the train with
Darius Goosey from LSU. Josh Jackson, Iowa.
Darius Guice.
Same thing.
Guys. So,
Dave
doesn't like to be able to say the word
Will
go.
Hernandez is another guard that'll be on. But you have Cortland Sutton at 25, which they really fucking like. Kavanaugh, who writes for The Athletic, works with the Cowboys, does a lot of draft stuff with Broadus. They have him as a third-round talent.
Cortland Sutton is a work in progress. He is a classic draft bust. You do not pick him in the first round.
But you still have
just because
Calvin.
He's got size, and he's got height, weight, ideal measurables, and he's like kind of fast, but not too fast.
You have Calvin Ridley though.
He's like his max is Keyshawn Johnson, but mostly he's just not. He's not going to be that great.
You got Calvin Ridley,
right? And the Cowboys definitely might draft.
That might be
Ridley.
something that they bite on because we need a number one. Because unlike what we didn't mention, because we know everybody knows about it,
Is
Dez gone.
He's gone. He gone, boy.
And asked
Cowboys
earlier in that press conference, Jerry Jones said they asked Jerry, "Would you want to re-sign him back?" And he was like, "I think we need to move on from the Dez Bryant.
Yeah, because
Move on to some Papa John's. What the fuck you trying to get at?"
there is no Papa John's official sponsor of the NFL.
But he's still official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
Right?
Yep.
So, yeah, Dez is gone, and that's juicy enough. And we went Facebook Live the other day on it, or at least I did. I don't know if I told
Yeah,
you.
Corey had like a Blair Witch Project video going on. Like no one could fucking see him.
Hey, you could hear it, right? So, look, Dez, your attitude got you cut. It's not injuries. It's not playing through injuries. It's not, your production would have been fine. It's not the money. It was your attitude. The money can always be found, but nobody wants to put up with a shitty attitude for somebody who is not elite anymore. It happens in restaurants. It happens in offices around the world. I've seen it. Eventually, you fire somebody who is a high performer at times, but then they show up late, they show up high, they think the world revolves around them just because they're good.
Right.
No, your performance is measured by, yes, you're the best that you can do, but also the worst. How bad is your attitude? That is part of your performance. And once that starts to become a problem, we're going to look at that only and not look at your peak performance, and you're going to be gone.
Well,
so that's what got
I think a lot of the attitude situation wasn't as bad as it has been. I think that
right, and in the past, right, some of those things linger.
And the Dez that was always late, blew things off, wasn't still the Dez that was around.
I think one of the biggest clips in the All or Nothing documentary that we've been talking about is when he's interrupting his wide receiver coach. Don't show up your coach in the middle of a meeting, and just be like, hey, why are you not going to be talking to us like this? Why are you going to do this? Trying to show him up and say you should do it better like this and give him all these suggestions. Dez, you're the player.
I can see it where a situation on that though.
He thinks he's the boss, and I'm sure that would happen. Jesse Hawley was calling him out because he was his roommate in training camp rookie year. He says, Dez, it can't always be like this. You have to mature. And there was just this pattern of behavior coaches were tired of, and his numbers for 3 straight seasons were low, so he's gone.
I think the best thing about the drama that happened with that was on the New York Giants side. Brandon Marshall tweets out, "We don't have room for you," when Dez makes the idea of wanting to, and then 24 hours later, Brandon Marshall, there's room for the Giants because Brandon Marshall's not there.
Cut. Sure, you can be friends with Odell. That's cool. Go be friends with OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., but no, that's not getting you a spot.
Dude, I'll tell you, I think the place where you need to look is the Ravens. The Ravens The Ravens have been able to handle.
Do you know what's a black hole in the NFL? The Baltimore Ravens. Nobody gives 2 shits about the Baltimore Ravens ever since Ray Lewis has been gone. Ed Reed is gone. You got Joe Flacco still hanging on there, getting overpaid because he got them to the Super Bowl one time.
Who was the one? Was it Ray Rice?
Yeah, Ray Rice. They don't need you.
Gotta get David Irvin over there. Ray Rice.
Please no.
Right? Dude, do you think, though, that there's been talks about a trade for the second-round pick?
Yeah,
which
there's been a
the
lot
Cowboys
of talk.
picks this year, 19 is their first round, 50 is their second, 81 is their third. They've got 2 in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, 116, 137, 171, 173, 193, 208. What's going on in the draft, the Cowboys could actually trade down and probably be safe for what their needs are. I wouldn't say they would need to trade up.
See, the thing is, we're going to look
because
over
what
that.
you've got right now.
Think about what's on the what's the list on the first round? Dallas, Detroit, Cincinnati, Buffalo, LA Rams. You can only go a couple spots. If you have a couple, like say, oh cool, guys like Wynn is left, Vea is left, Hernandez, McGlinchey, whatever, like, big bruisers haven't been picked high. Maybe you've even got, a couple wide receivers you still value as a first-round pick. And you say, oh, you want to trade back a little bit. You can't be trading back 10 spots, 8 spots. It's got to be one of the first few. And besides, here's the main problem with all that. Well, like we talked about in the beginning, Jerry Jones is hosting the draft at his stadium in his town. He is not going to do something weak or, football-wise. He is going for the glitz and glamour. He is going to take, he's not going to back up. Backup is not showy. And he wants to dominate the news. So I think he sees an opportunity to take the news in the second round. If the Cowboys were to trade that second round pick, that seems to be the right price based on everything that we've been talking about, based on what people in the media have been talking about for weeks and weeks. The right price for Earl Thomas would be the second round pick at number 50. The Seattle, they're going to set their pick high. Weeks, maybe months ago, they set it at a first-round pick. The Cowboys said no thanks. Well, it's now the second round, and the Seattle Seahawks don't have a second or third-round pick. So I'm sure they would love to get that from the Cowboys. It's an important debate. Do you trade that pick to get Earl Thomas now because you feel like you have a talented team that can win now with a veteran piece like that, or do you wait and maybe just try to buy him later? Because he's gonna be a free agent in a year if nobody else trades for him. His contract's up in a year. People want to act like, oh, you can just wait around and buy him. Well, if it's any indication, the Cowboys aren't great with salary cap management. No. They're always last minute trying to move numbers around and shuffle things up so that they can barely get under the cap. Well, you're going to try to outbid people? No, I mean, you can get him on an extension this year, and it can give you perspective on what to do with the D-line, signings that you need, give you perspective on what to do with the offensive lineman signings you need to do with Zach Martin and stuff. But he's a stud in your defensive backfield.
What do we have, $5 million at cap right?
I mean,
cap
we
space
might
right
have
now?
10, and we can pay that, the 8 or 9 for the next year. I think we could fit that under.
$5 million will probably go to rookies.
Right. Yeah, and you actually only have to pay the first 3 rounds. Like, that's only the first few rounds count against your cap.
Right.
But
because what you could do if you have to buy is you would just backload it and make things signing bonuses.
It could be done. I think
because you can get him at league minimum.
See, we're talking about the coaches being gone. If players. If the organization, not players, if the organization, the Dallas Cowboys, thinks that with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and the offensive line they have and the cornerback talent that they think is going to come around and the defensive line, headed up by DeMarcus Lawrence and the linebacker, he's still got peak Sean Lee. If they think this is a team that can go deep into the playoffs, then you trade for Earl Thomas this year. And it accelerates. The defense is all of a sudden one of your streaks. You do it.
I think what will be interesting to see is to walk you through what we have for the first round. You have Cleveland, Giants, Jets.
Yeah.
The goddamn Jets.
In Cleveland.
Cleveland, Denver, Colts, Bucks, Bears, Niners,
and
Raiders.
Raiders. So let's look at the top 10. Just
that's your top 10.
So you were bringing up this crazy idea of Cleveland picking 2 quarterbacks.
I think it's not out of the realm of Cleveland Browns to take Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield, maybe Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield.
So you think
the mock drafts that I've seen has Baker Mayfield until this morning when there started to be interest in which could be small talk to try to get more picks. Baker Mayfield was either going to the Jets or was going to Miami.
Right, the Jets are into him. Right, and Miami all the way 11 seems. Yes, Chicago's got their Tampa Bay. So Denver seems shaky. Who do they get? They got like Case Keenum back or something.
I think so, yeah.
Denver's got Case Keenum.
I mean, you've got teams that have a need at quarterback position. So if Cleveland picks,
if Cleveland is high on Baker, the thing is that what Cleveland can do is they can pick Saquon Barkley at number 1 and then pick Baker at 4 because the Giants are a threat to pick Saquon Barkley.
Right.
If they're cool with any quarterback, which I doubt they are, I bet they have favorites. Then they could just pick the second or third quarterback on the list at number 4. If they pick a quarterback and the Giants pick Barkley, see, I think the thing is the number. Okay, we watched from the Tony Romo era ending. We saw a 13-3 season in Dallas. And it was on the backs of Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, who both played lights out. So you get a star quarterback and running back as a duo, and they can perform as rookies. That can turn Cleveland from a 0-16 team to something with like 6-7 wins. That, they don't have Joe Thomas anymore, so that's a big problem. But that I feel like that's the number one way to get you out of, the sad sack organizational status that the Cleveland Browns are always in. When you're 0-16, for God's sakes, take somebody that's going to make an impact. Figure out Saquon Barkley, is going to be a stud running back.
Yeah, but they could get more value.
Whichever quarterback.
Could get more value out of drafting 2 quarterbacks, and I guarantee you they're going to start getting trades.
Do you actually think that's a good thing, is to draft 2 quarterbacks, or do you just say it?
You draft the one that you want, and then you take the one that you know is most valuable behind
to
that.
other people. And so you're saying that within the next year or whatever, you're going to trade away that second quarterback.
Dude, you could trade him. You could get rid of him probably that night if you wanted to.
No, you just trade the pick then.
Exactly. They don't have shit in Cleveland.
They do have a wide receiver. Josh Gordon's pretty good.
Yeah, but who's throwing to Gordon?
And they do have a nice defensive lineman from Texas A&M. He's pretty good.
Doesn't even count. Not even a real school.
It's a real school.
They don't even honor the fucking degrees that come from there.
It's a real school. I'm going to have to fight you pretty soon.
You're coming from the A&M dropout.
At least I'm not a dropout in the school of life.
See you fucking Oxnard.
Yes, classic Mickey. Who wants to be called Mickey anyway? So Giants, I think the draft revolves around the Giants. Do they feel like, hey, we're going to replace Eli Manning and have his replacement in waiting for 1 year? Or do they feel like they can roll with Manning for 3 years?
Who do they have that's his backup?
Nobody.
They got rid of...
I mean, I don't know. It's a nobody.
Who was the guy they put in that one game and ended his streak?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember.
I mean, he was an up-and-coming. He was a first-rounder.
Was he a first-rounder?
I want to say he was a first-rounder.
New York Giants roster.
Well, Corey's looking that up. Don't forget our friends over at Draft.com. Draft.com.
Finally, I'm seeing some of their tweets.
Snake drafts for every sport, week long or daily. I play the baseball one. You do a snake draft. I pick. I sit down. I make money.
Right.
All day. If you go to draft.com/DWTB or put in the program or promo code DWTB, Drinking with the Boys initials, and you deposit some cash in, they're going to give you a free entry into a cash deal. To a cash draft.
Was it Davis Webb last year? That doesn't
it wasn't Davis Webb. Am I going to have to fucking try to get...
Eli. We're going to find it out. Man, he's concerned. Eli starts streak.
Geno Smith.
Yeah, it was Geno Smith. But wasn't he used to be with the Jets, though? He used to be with the Jets, I assure you. Yeah, it was Geno Smith. Probably.
So yeah, I mean, the Giants.
So it all depends. Hey, do the Giants go running back because they've got a good defense and they think that they've got an okay quarterback, which they don't.
Eli's never been good. Eli's only been good at.
But
lucky.
it requires a lot. It requires big cojones from the GM over there to say no, he's not good, and we're going to draft his replacement. Because the easier route is to say we're going to draft a skill position who is really damn good in Saquon Barkley, or their line has giant holes. Draft Quentin Nelson.
This is how you're making me feel, Corey.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Corey,
no, they think they're in a win now mode because of look at last year's offseason acquisitions. They spent a ton. They think they got a good D line. They can make it better with somebody like Nick Chubb, or I'm sorry, what's his name again? Bradley Chubb? I think it's Bradley Chubb. There is Nick Chubb.
How many Chubbs are in this draft this year?
Way too
many goddamn Chubbs.
Too many Chubbs. Nick Chubb's a defensive end from NC State.
I wonder if he's related to Bradley Chubb.
I don't think so, but I mean Bradley Chubb is from Georgia, so it's pretty close around there. So Jets are going to take a quarterback. Giants, 60% are going to take a quarterback. Cleveland, if 3 quarterbacks are off the board, if they take a quarterback first, which I think they'll take Sam Darnold, which, man, look, no offense to, who's the Detroit Lions quarterback? Matt
Stafford.
Hey,
Highland Park, Matt Stafford.
No, I'm going to shit on him for a second. Okay, no offense to you, Matt Stafford. You're number one pick.
I'm going to shit on him, but no offense to you, Matt Stafford.
You're a number 1 pick, but you haven't done shit. Like, you haven't got the Detroit Lions past the first round in the draft.
I don't think you can blame first round of a playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I meant. First round of the playoffs. Sorry. And look, it's great. Hey, he's got all the numbers. He's got all the tools. Lottie freaking da. You're a great quarterback, but you're not elite. And you don't have the elite status of somebody like Aaron Rodgers, somebody like Tom Brady. And so you're just a nobody because of that. Like, if you don't lead your team to the Super Bowl, you are a nobody. And that is what I feel like Sam Darnold is. You're going to be great. You're going to throw some great passes. You got some tools, blah, blah, blah. This, that, and another. Actually, watched a video the other night. He doesn't have the arm strength. I mean, maybe he's got the vision. Maybe he's got the decision making.
And Sam Darnold or Matt Stafford?
I'm talking about Sam Darnold. And I'm saying that like his arm strength looks weak. I mean, it just doesn't look like it's there. I just don't see the greatness in him. And for as many problems as Josh Allen has, people talk about his decision making is bad. His reads are bad. He's
a 3rd round talent.
No, and maybe he is, but his arm strength and he's got the winning mentality. He's not just a pretty boy from California. He has said, you've got to have hey, I'm the best quarterback in the world, and everybody's been doubting me. Nobody took me from junior college. Nobody took him out of high school. Everyone's been doubting him, and he says, look, I will prove you wrong, and then watch how good I am, and I will prove myself right because I know I can do it. He's got elite arm talent like Aaron Rodgers' arm talent who can thread every single needle. And, yeah, he's got a lot to learn. He's raw, but I think like
the Mayfield deal is going to be a lot of fun.
Baker's got it, too.
Baker is one of those quarterbacks that he scored the highest on the test.
I'm on board with Baker. I'm on board with Josh Allen. I'm on board with Lamar Jackson. Josh Rosen kind of.
I really want to see at some point.
I see a Joe Flacco and Sam Darnold. Who the fuck wants Joe Flacco? Okay, he's like an average middling quarterback. Eli Manning in Sam Darnold. That's what I see. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Maybe Andrew Luck.
He's been a couple
of seasons that.
I think Andrew Luck is better than that because injuries has derailed him. But you have whoop-de-doo like, hey.
Are you going to say RG3? Injuries derailed that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's true. But
that's not a you have to take that into consideration for their career.
Well, I don't think
we can't make excuses for they got hurt.
I don't see injury problems.
I mean, it's like Sam Bradford, elite quarterback. If he can fucking stay healthy,
he's fragile. No,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
look at
see
him wrong.
injury problems in any of those except for Lamar Jackson, who is going to be like Mike Vick. Incredibly talented, but he's probably going to get hurt.
Right. Yeah, I mean...
You have to be careful with that, and you can only do that for a couple of years.
Right. Yeah, your
You can't-
longevity as a quarterback with your legs.
Pick your poison, dude. Like, you got to be careful with that.
Well, and that's why guys like RG3 and stuff like that,
Yeah.
who never became a pocket quarterback,
Right.
they don't last in the league.
Yeah. I see Sam Darnold as just fair to middling, like average, above average, but not elite.
Baker Mayfield had a call from the...
I see Baker Mayfield as Seattle's quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
I see him as Russell Wilson.
I think people are going to be scared of him because he kind of has that Johnny Manziel,
No, but that's
Mike
bullshit.
Dick's been in the room for 3 minutes before I got here kind of thing. And, he had the story come out this week about how the big, the Scott Boras of NFL agents
yeah.
called. He had Brett Favre. He had a bunch of these guys.
Drew Rosenhaus or Boris? I mean, both of them have NFL people.
Right, but
Somebody
this was,
like
I
that,
can't
yeah.
remember the name of
Somebody
who it
before
was,
that, yeah.
but he got on the phone with them. The guy botched the story about Stoops, about him being a walk-on, asking how it was getting the call from Stoops, and he was like, "Yeah, I got to go." Click, hung up on him.
Right.
Because he didn't understand the story. I think his arrogance and cockiness is going to hinder what he could be. I Boomer Sooner every day.
Screw you,
But,
Boomer Sooners, but
It's one of those things where he has that
And-
where he could end up being kind of like a Brady Quinn or Colt McCoy type player
Colt
where
McCoy.
they were really fucking great in college.
Don't hate on
and
Colt
nothing
McCoy.
ever happened after that.
Don't hate on Colt McCoy. He has led the Redskins to some wins, and that's saying something. No, I think Josh Rosen has the same hey, I'm the best in the world attitude.
Right.
So from UCLA, Josh Rosen.
Both of those were
I think-
compared together
Yeah.
in a lot of talks. About
People talk about Denver. They need another pass rusher. They might take Chubb. Indianapolis, are they going to draft a quarterback replacement or not? Probably not. Maybe they'll take Roquan Smith or Denzel Ward. You get down into the nitty-gritty of the Buffalo Bills. They probably need a quarterback to lead them. They traded up into 12, so that was a weird. Like Buffalo made a move a few weeks ago with a draft pick trade.
Right
so,
for the Athletic, Bob Sturm
yeah, screw him though.
placed his today, his last mock draft. Number 19 for the Cowboys. He has cornerback Isaiah Oliver of Colorado.
That's not happening.
That doesn't.
They're
sound
not
fun.
picking a quarterback. God damn.
Corner. Yeah,
Yeah, they're not picking a cornerback.
they've got Sam Darnold going first. They've got Baker Mayfield at number 10, so going to Oakland.
Damn, what do they have up there? Saquon. Yeah, I think the.
Bradley Chubb going to the Browns.
I think the key part of the draft is like pick 11.
Dude,
We got
how would you like to
Miami.
be Brown Chubb? Like, that's fucking awesome. I want a Cleveland Brown shirt with Chubb on the back.
Chubb, Brown Chubb. Pick 11, Miami Dolphins.
It's gonna be
If it's a cornerback, that helps the Cowboys because if you've got the Cowboys said in their press conference today they have about 17, 18 first round talents.
But it's putting Lamar Jackson down to
Yeah,
number
where you got
15, number 15
Right,
to Arizona,
exactly.
which is something I've heard a
5
lot about.
quarterbacks are going to go top 20. And so, and it's not going to be 20 or 19, or we don't care about 20 from Dallas.
Do you think
so,
if Lamar Jackson is on the board, the Cowboys may?
No, absolutely, they're not going. So, if you got 5 quarterbacks going top 15, if you've got some running backs and cornerbacks going top 15, you only need 2 and 2. Then it's going to be like one running back, and maybe people will reach on guys from LSU. But cornerbacks, you got people like Denzel Ward, people like J.R. Alexander from Louisville, who I love, and I think he's got the swagger to be elite. You got Josh Jackson
Is he the one that pranced around?
yeah,
Awesome.
like
That's
that
what
guy.
I like.
From Iowa. And so if the higher those players go, the more of the non-cornerbacks and QBs, which are the positions the Cowboys don't need, will keep falling.
The problem is
And so you got
Landry.
Show me that again.
Landry that we're looking at.
Harold Landry might, where's he?
Like they're putting him at
pretty high because he deserves to go high. Number 9.
Yeah, number 9.
So if you got J.R. Alexander, cornerback going 11,
20.
cornerback going 12, cornerback going 13, quarterback going 15, Calvin Ridley 14 is important. Vita Vea, defensive tackle 16 is important. Isaiah Wynn going 20. That's if Vita Vea and Calvin Ridley are off the board, then Isaiah Wynn would be a perfect pick for the Cowboys. The thing is, the Cowboys fans want to talk about, we don't need another offensive lineman in the first round. Okay, listen up. Tyron Smith did not play a lot of games last year. We lost our left guard to Denver, who used to be a pretty damn good one, but no, he was not that first round pick all pro level. And then we remember we lost Doug Free, and our right tackle Lyle Collins, he got better, and he's going to be good in one of those positions. But the thing is, if you've got injury problems, Lyle is still untested, and Tyron has a back that's going to give him grief for the rest of his entire life. Okay, so when he was on the field with Ezekiel Elliott, because that wasn't very often, because he had back problems, and then Ezekiel Elliott got suspended.
Yeah, he can't be pulling white girl shirts down.
That wasn't why. But when those were on the field together, things were good, but they were only on the field together for very, very few snaps. So you're going to have injury problems. You need another elite one, and you're not going to re-sign, Tyron in a couple of years. So I'm cool with Isaiah Wynn. I'm cool if Tremaine Edmonds were to fall. He's an elite linebacker talent. I'd be all over that as a Cowboys fan. McGlinchey, offensive tackle. You can move Tyron Smith over there. The best talent in the teens of the first round, in the 15 to 19 range, is going to be offensive linemen like McGlinchey, or defensive linemen like Vita Vea.
And do you think McGlinchey will be there in the second round? Do you think he'll be there?
No, first round. No, he's the first round.
I was going to say, I thought if you were thinking he would fall down to the pick number 50.
No, he's top 20. So for pick number 50, if the Cowboys still have it, and they don't trade it away for Earl Thomas, I think it's going to be wide receiver. Because I think, also I would love DJ Moore. If DJ Moore were still on the board, which in that mock draft did show it, I think the Cowboys might take DJ Moore.
That's pick number 19?
Yeah, wide receiver from Maryland. When I watch DJ Moore, when I see Anthony Miller from Memphis and James Washington from Oklahoma State, I see elite explosion. I see explosiveness, speed, agility. Those are the guys who, let's not talk down to them as if they're some kind of like, scat back or 5'10" and they're going to get hurt, or no, they will avoid everybody and then they'll go out of bounds. Like, no, they're not getting hurt just because they're small, but they have elite explosion. They have hands. They catch everything. They weave in and out. Those are the type of wide receivers the Cowboys need that will take the top right off the defense. DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, also from Texas A&M, elite returner and receiver. So you get some explosion from something like that in the first or second round.
It's a good day.
I think it's a good day.
Dude, so Vita Vea, back to that guy.
He's a mauler of a defensive lineman. He can throw anybody aside.
313 pounds?
He is a big athlete. He is a fat athlete who is damn good.
Dude, so do you feel like he would fix our defensive issues?
Right. Any talent like him, because you think of Haloti Ngata from the Baltimore Ravens, when they had an elite defensive tackle, an elite linebacker, Ray Lewis, and an elite safety, Ed Reed. Everything around that fit perfectly within that structure. So you think about an elite defensive tackle like Warren Sapp. Vita Vea can be that. Maybe not quite that good.
He's bigger than most of the guys that are...
He's incredibly good. And you put him remember who the Cowboys have been playing at nose tackle. It's guys like David Price or just these random washed up guys. You have you got David Irvin, who sometimes plays the 3 technique. You have the other end spot. You have DeMarcus Lawrence. You have a backup who you hope to be a starter in Taco Charlton.
Right.
You've got an veteran. You think about I can't think of his name right now, but 3 technique is pretty good for the Cowboys, and they signed him, and they've been overpaying him for a couple of years. But he's going to be gone soon. It will turn defensive line into a potential strength, and you know what it does? It lets Sean Lee run around wild. Blockers, when he takes on a double team, Vita Vea, somebody like that, takes on a double team, doesn't let a blocker get to Sean Lee in the middle. He makes all your tackles. It makes...
but we can't, you can't put a lot of faith in having Sean Lee there.
Well, if nobody's getting to him, then he's going to stay healthy.
Right.
I'm just saying your linebackers become instantly better when you have incredible line play, and Vita Vea can elevate that.
So would you shoot for Vita?
And you can say that your line, which has some talent and has opportunities, can look incredible if you have an incredible secondary. So you get a safety.
Who are you?
Like
What do
Earl
you want?
Thomas.
All right, so you're in the war room. Steven and Jerry are sitting there. Jerry's enjoying a slice of Papa John's pizza. Steven's on Instagram or whatever Steven Jones does.
Everyone's not paying attention, apparently.
And they look at you and they say, hey, what do you think for 19, Corey? What are we doing?
So, okay, the 2 situations that I would trade up for would be Derwin James, safety out of Florida State, or Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker for Virginia Tech. If either of those were still available at 12 or 13, I would be trading up for that. I think those are elite players who are going to be playing for the Dallas Cowboys for 5 to 10 years, who you would want on your defense. And defense wins championships. So now
those guys are gone. But you still have Harold Landry, Vita Vea. We have all the other guys we talked about. Mike McClinchy.
Harold Landry's in the same conversation. I don't think he's going to be around. If he were to slip, it would be the same answer. I think he's gone top 12. Absolutely.
Where are you at on Cortland Sutton?
Definitely passing on
Cortland. I know they like him.
Cortland Sutton, he did get worked out. Jason Garrett was there. SMU players were over. Worked out for the Cowboys. He was kind of that 30 visit guy, but he's way too raw, and I feel like that's a classic miss on a wide receiver who never figures it out, because as of a few years ago, he was still playing defense, for God's sake. He's a very raw wide receiver. I want a wide receiver second round because there are so many that have potential. Ridley, DJ Moore, Christian Kirk. I want Marcel Aitman. I think he's kind of lower talent. But Michael Gallup, Anthony Miller, James Washington from Oklahoma State, and Equanimeous St. Brown, who would be my favorite because he's got the greatest name in football, Equanimeous St. Brown.
I feel like Jerry Jones might be one of those guys that if I can't say it, I ain't drafting it.
Any of those wide receivers in the second round, and you might even move up a couple spots from 50 to maybe 45 to get that. But any of those wide receivers would do the trick. They've all got talent, so you pick either an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, a safety, or a linebacker. There's only 2 safeties, and they're both elite. After that, there's a big drop-off, so it's not going to be a safety. I don't want Leighton Vander Esch from Boise because although Jonathan Tulls, I think is Tulls, you can find him on Twitter, he's really high on Leighton Vander Esch, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to trust the Cowboys guys. Kavanaugh and Broadus are really low on Leighton Vander Esch. He's a linebacker from Boise State, and he's got explosion. No, but he lacks some key skills in run defense and pass defense. So I don't want another Bobby Carpenter on our team because the Cowboys picked him late in the first round long ago. I want playmakers. Rashaan Evans, a linebacker from Bama, I would rather than Leighton Vander Esch. I want a defensive lineman or offensive lineman that's going to make an incredible
And
impact.
so that's what you want first round. You want some
Yeah.
type of O-line or D-line.
Because you can never have enough. There's going to be injuries or age, and you're just going to replace it with that next guy next year.
So do you feel like where we're at with the
It's a perfect place.
roster that we have right
Perfect
now?
place. 19 is a perfect place to pick an elite offensive lineman or defensive lineman. Out of Will Hernandez, guard UTEP. Out of Marcus Davenport, defensive end, UT San Antonio. Out of James Daniels, interior lineman from Iowa. Out of McGlinchey, tackle from Notre Dame. Out of Isaiah Wynn, guard, and whatever else from Georgia. I think there's plenty of names who are going to be
So
there.
you've got Mike McClinchy right here, Notre Dame.
If
offensive
McGlinchey's there, he
tackle.
might be the best player out of every single name I just mentioned. Mike McGlinchey.
So if
might be
Vita
the number
Vea
one.
and Mike McClinchy right there.
Think of Zach Martin and Mike McGlinchey as clones. As in, okay, so Zach Martin has moved to guard, but he played tackle at Notre Dame, and Mike McGlinchey played tackle, but we were not going to play him when he was drafted at tackle because we were set with Tyron and Doug Free, and so he's a guard. You think and you think of middle towards the late, but middle of the first round. That was where Zach Martin was picked. So McGlinchey is that elite. So yeah, I want that on my team.
So you're taking McClinchy over Vita Vea.
Damn.
Five, 4.
I think the Cowboys are definitely of that mindset to take McGlinchey over Vea, but I think the early talk from guys like Broadus who were inside the Cowboys, the Star, were like, hey, they're not crazy high on Vita Vea. It's a one technique nose tackle. Do we really need a first round pick on it?
Do you think
But it
he would
seems
only
like
be a
they're coming
2-down
around.
guy?
No. It seems like they're coming around though. He would be a third round. He would be 3-down guy.
He'd be a 3-down.
Yeah.
I know there had been talks about, a lot of people thinking he would only, with his size and stuff, he would only be a 2-down player.
I think you still need one in the middle for your third down pass rush kind of deal. I think he might. Yeah, people.
Do you
talk
think
about,
he would fit into the Marinelli way?
Yeah, no, I think Marinell would love that. But I don't know. It just comes down to if Steven feels like you got to spend a first on that.
Do you think we missed on T.J. Watt and Taco Charlton?
Yeah, of course.
You feel you think that?
Of course, because they feel like they have these. Oh, okay, our scheme, says that if you're undersized, then you're not going to be perfect. And yeah, T.J. Watt was played a lot as outside linebacker instead of hand down defensive end. But you should adapt your talent, your scheme to the talent. But they act like they got to pigeonhole the talent into the
and
scheme.
that's where I
That's
think
a fundamental problem. I think.
I think a lot of people in NFL, there's coaches like McVay, Shanahan, all those guys who are getting on board with the, we're going to build our offense, we're going to build whatever around a player. So for so long, players that went to Mike or Fisher
What about
for Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
He, he had
What
that
is his
old.
name?
He
Steve.
had,
It's definitely not Mike though.
what the fuck is
Steve.
his name?
What is the
It
name?
wasn't
Derek
Steve.
Fisher.
Derek Fisher's a fucking
No, I
basketball
know.
player. No, but anyways, he was one of those coaches that was very old school minded and would ruin quarterbacks. Jeff Fisher,
Of course
yeah.
it was Jeff Fisher.
He would be a Jeff.
Yeah.
No, but he was one of those quarterback killers.
Man, if only we could have JL on.
J.L.
talking
Williams.
about- talking
J.L.
about
Williams will
Vince
tell you-
Young was not killed by Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher killed Vince Young.
Right.
That's
I mean,
what,
He got him to the playoffs, though.
But the thing is a lot of these old school minded guys are not adapting their schemes
Right.
to the talent that
Totally.
they have.
And you end
They're
up at-
drafting players based on their talent and then saying, no, that's not what we want you to do.
You end up
We
an
want you to
8-8
do
coach
this.
forever.
Right. And I think a lot of people aren't seeing that in other places where you can still have that same identity as a coach, run something similar, but build around the talent that you're given.
Yeah, and just like in Bill O'Brien over in Houston, he's there's been talk about this offseason adapting to their quarterback from Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
Right.
He is a quarterback that you have to fit some of the plays that he is strong in. You have got to fit some design quarterback runs. You got to fit some bootlegs. He is an electric player, and you have to adapt your offense to him a little bit. You can't change the entire wheel, but you do have to make some adjustments.
And I think
the Cowboys aren't good at that.
I think Deshaun Watson would be really good at throwing the ball to Dez Bryant.
Well, Dez, you can go to Houston.
Dez can go to Houston. I feel like out of last season, the team that got fucked over the worst was the Houston Texans.
Right. Incredible injuries, and so now everybody, fans, they're gun shy. They're like, hey, we had incredible hope, and we have incredible talent on our defensive line, but they've been injured so often.
One thing I have learned from this show, Corey,
healthy,
is you're not allowed to drink beer anymore.
False.
Because beer's over here fucking just like you're over here burping the whole goddamn show.
Let's wrap up the top stuff and talk about some interesting players. First off, Poona Ford. Would you want him on your team?
No, because I ain't gonna have a fucking player named Poona.
no Poon. Poona Ford, defensive tackle from University of Texas, maybe 4th round pick. Don't want that. Okay, there's a defensive end named Hercules from Washington State.
I'll take it.
All right.
One of my favorite Disney movies.
We need a Hercules as our defensive lineman. Shaquem, I don't know. Shaquem, I'm sorry.
Shack him up.
I haven't figured out how to say his
Dude,
first
half
name.
these fucking names anymore. Good
Shaquem,
God almighty.
Shaquem Griffin from UCF, University of Central Florida. Probably drafted somewhere around the 3rd round, early 3rd round. I don't think he's a 2nd round pick. I don't think he falls to the 4th. He's a great talent. His tape looks great as a linebacker, maybe strong safety, linebacker from UCF, but he's only got one hand. Is that a problem?
Nubs. I don't know, man.
Is that a problem?
I mean, he's not gonna have to swat a lot of balls down.
No, and he can catch. He was born that way. He can catch still. Like he knows how to still catch the occasional random errant pass that goes to your linebackers. So it's not a problem. I mean,
and he's a stud in the weight room.
He's
a strong motherfucker.
Yeah, and I think he's a talent. He's an incredible character person. He and Jalen Smith are that kind of
man.
Like
I just don't
character.
need another story, dude.
You do.
No,
you need
dude.
One new one every year.
But here's the problem with it: that fucking sports has taken on that whole thing that fucking American Idol started 10 fucking years ago about, hey, let's have these fairy tale stories of people overcoming, like...
Stories sell tickets and stories sell jerseys.
But they don't win rings.
No,
I don't
they do.
care about fucking stories.
This is a guy. And also, I'm on
Jalen
board.
Smith is never going to be better than what Jalen Smith is now.
No, he's improving. Absolutely, he's good.
But
I'm
he's
on the
not
Jalen Smith train of he is going to be a surprise.
Yeah, but you were also on an Austin Bibbins Dirks thing during baseball season last year.
Last I checked, he outpitched Max Scherzer. So
we're AAA?
Do you not remember that game?
Okay, one game.
Yeah.
The blind squirrel found a nut. But he's right back in fucking AAA with a fucking pitching staff that looks like
he's going to get called up soon. So, yeah, last little bit of notable player. I want Armani Watts in the 4th round. If the Cowboys think they're good on safety, Armani Watts from Texas A&M. And then very last, Trey Quinn. Let's wrap this up. Trey Quinn from Barb High School in Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is where my brother goes. And
here we go.
I feel like I'm going to have to pour something on your phone.
Here we go. Lake Charles.
He went to LSU.
Gooks
and then
Tigers. Couldn't Gooks with the Tigers, so he had to go with the Ponies.
He went to LSU, and then he went to SMU. He was a very, very high-performing wide receiver, but he is of the Cole Beasley type where he's undersized and white. Yes.
Yeah.
Undersized and white. But
well, he'll be picked up by the fucking Patriots.
There you go.
That's where it's going to be. And
5th round pick for the
MVP.
for the New England Patriots.
Right?
I would love to see where Trey Quinn goes. He's a good kid.
all of Corey's big board that he's written up on our board has no fucking punters or kickers, so I totally dismiss everything that he's written down.
I mean, you're not going to... Because it was top 100 guys.
Right? So here's the thing is...
Punters and kickers are sixth-round picks and later only.
I feel like Corey should get rid of his shift at the draft, not work it, have to fill out a draft through all 5 rounds, and every one that he gets wrong, I think he should have to take a shot.
You would get most of them wrong, Chase.
I know, that's why I'm saying you.
That would kill me.
Yeah, because Corey's not a very good picker. But no, I think me and Corey are. I think me and Corey
doing
are
it live
both.
and we could see what was just picked. I bet you could get pretty close. But if you're doing it without that, starting at square one,
Right.
that's pretty difficult. That's why mock drafts look terrible.
So Corey, if
because
you
little
weren't
things
working
change.
on draft night, what are you drinking?
Dude, this right here, in fact, this is City High Point.
You're drinking the High Point. You're not going to go with the Tejas Prima.
Hey, it's a beer from out there, and we're from here. We're not out there.
Hey, you know what?
It's a good beer, and that's why we have it.
Right?
But it's not the beer.
I think I'm going to be chasing down some more bourbon.
I know you will.
I love that bourbon. I love that stuff. So,
That's
guys,
all, folks.
that's going to be it for us tonight. And
the one thing we didn't talk about.
What?
Is everybody boo Roger Goodell at the draft.
yes, please
Thank
boo
you.
Roger Goodell, and we will go Facebook Live and Instagram Live. If Roger Goodell shows up around us, that way you can catch a case. So, get on Drinking with the Boys, DRNKN the Boys on Twitter, Drinking with the
have it
Boys on
memorized. Good
Instagram. Yeah, draft.com/DWTB.
Mostly just listen to us on SoundCloud or Spreaker or iTunes or wherever you want.
Pretty much anywhere that you can
iHeartRadio
fucking
as
think
well.
of.
Yep.
Yeah, so we will be there. We're also on YouTube, so you guys can watch that Facebook Live. We will be joining you guys. And thank you, and keep drinking with the boys.
Like you with the powers, laughing like